guys, welcome back to SciMath, and today we're going to be talking about finding angle between two vectors and sketching vectors. So let's get started. This is our first question. We're given the vectors a, b, and c, where a is 3, 0, 0, b is 1, 1, and negative 1, and c is 0, 1, 2. And we're asked to find the angle between a plus c and b plus c in degree and radians, and we want the answer to be up to 2 decimal places in degree and radians both. The first step to solving this question is we know we want to find the angle between vectors a plus c and b plus c. So we'll get one vector from a plus c, and then we'll get another vector from b plus c. Let's do a plus c first and see how to add vectors. So when we add two vectors, we add up their components. So we would add components one by one. So a is 3, 0, 0, and c is 0, 1, 2. So the first component of a is 3, and the first component of c is 0. So 3 plus 0 is the first one. The second component of a is 0, and the second component of c is 1. So it would be 0 plus 1. And then the third component of a is also 0, and the third component of c is 2. So it would be 0 plus 2. And the vector that we get from a plus c is 3 is the first component, 1, and then 2. So that's a plus c. That's our first vector. Now we need the second vector because we can only find an angle between two vectors, not just one vector. We need two vectors at least. So the second vector is b plus c. So let's find that. B plus c, same thing. We add the components, each of the components of b and c. So the first component of b is 1, and then the first component of c is 0. So 1 plus 0. Then the second component of b is 1, and the second component of c is also 1. So 1 plus 1. The third component of b is negative 1, and the third component of c is 2. So negative 1 plus 2. From that, we get our vector being 1, 2, and then 1. So those are our two vectors now, and we need to find the angle between these two vectors. So the way to find the angle, the formula for that comes from this formula right here. The formula is theta is equal to cosine inverse of, in this case, you put in whatever vectors you have. So in this case, we have the vectors a plus c dot product with b plus c, because those are our two vectors. If our vectors, for example, were just a and b, we would do a dot b. But here our vectors are a plus c and b plus c. So we do a plus c dot product with b plus c all over the magnitude of a plus c and times the magnitude of b plus c. So here we're not doing the dot product in the denominator. We're multiplying the magnitudes of the two vectors. Now we need to find the dot product and the magnitudes. So basically, the dot product of a plus c with b plus c, the dot product, you basically multiply each of the corresponding components of the vectors and you add them. So you should get a scalar value as your final result. So in this case, we do, let me do it here. So we have 3, 1, 2, we have 1, 2, 1. So first what you do is we multiply the first two components of the vector. So 3 times 1, which is 3. Then we add. And we do the second component, which is 1 times 2. So plus 2. Then we add 2 times 1, the last component, so 2. And that's our dot product, which is, we will calculate that. But now the magnitude, you need to take the square root of the components and square and add them. So basically, let's do a plus c first. A plus c, the vector is 3, 1, 2. So we would do 3 square plus 1 square plus 2 square, all under square root, right? And then this is being multiplied with the second one. Let me put it here at the bottom. Our second vector is 1, 2, 1. So we have 1 square plus 2 square plus 1 square, and then that's our calculation, right? So we're going to be multiplying these two values that we get once we evaluate the square root, and then here we just add. So what we get is, as our final answer, is, let me write it over here. So we get theta is the cosine inverse of 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, so 7 over, we get in the first square root, we get square root over 14 times the square root of 6, okay? So that's what we have to evaluate. So in your calculator, we can put cosine inverse of 7 over and then this whole expression, and what we end up with as the final answer, when you put the calculator in radian mode, we get approximately let me put it into the calculator. So in radian we get approximately 0.70, right? And then in degree, when you put your calculator in degree mode, make sure to switch it from that to get a different answer, which we get 40.20 degrees. That is the final answer for this question, where we found the angle between the two vectors in radians and degrees with up to 2 decimal places. So now let's move on to the next one, which is sketching vectors. Okay, so for the sketching of vectors, basically we're given the question where it says, given vectors a and b, sketch 2a plus 2b. So we're defined two vectors here, a and b, like this, arbitrarily as their direction, right? Like a is going that way and b is going towards the right. So they want us to find 2a plus 2b. Now we're going to do this using the parallelogram method, where we sketch out whatever units the question wants us to go. So here we have to find 2a plus 2b, and we're given a and b, right? So the way to do this is, we'll redraw this again here. This is our vector A, and this is our vector B, correct? Now what we have to do is, this is just one unit, right? Vector B is going in this direction in 1 unit. Vector A is going in this direction 1 unit, and we need to find 2A plus 2B. So 2A means we go 2 units in that direction, of vector A, for example. So what you do is you take this vector that they gave you and you add, like, you try to go approximately the same length, right? And that would be like your 2a. So basically imagine copy pasting the vector in that direction, how many ever units the question is asking. So here it was 2a, so we already have like 1a, right? This a is just 1a, and we take another and copy paste the vector in the same direction and same magnitude, right? And then same thing for b. It says 2b, so we go, right? This could be 2b. So now what we do is, the next step is you pull out a vector from here and you go to the edge, right? Like let's draw a line horizontally from here, and we want to draw a parallelogram basically, so, and vertically from here, correct? And now we take the vector from here to here, and this vector that I drew in red here from this point here, this is the 2a plus 2b vector. And so that's how you sketch vectors. You basically draw, like, imagine copy pasting the vector in the same direction and the magnitude and in that direction, and then drawing like a horizontal and vertical line to see where they connect, and then drawing a vector going up to that point. So in this case, our 2a plus 2b vector will look something like this. This is using the parallelogram method. So I hope you learned something new and enjoyed learning it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And always remember to stay curious and keep learning. Thanks for watching.